readers. I'm Jen Spencer, and this is Jen Spencer's 10-Minute Book Club. Hello, readers. Thank you for being here. Merry Christmas. I hope you're having a great December so far. Hope you're not too cold, and I hope you've got all your Christmas shopping done. Today, we have a great author. I'm so excited for you to meet her. Her name is Kathleen Lawless, and she writes contemporary sweet romances. And we're going to be talking today about her book, One Cinderella Spring. Sounds like a great read if you want to pick something up for those cold Christmas nights or between Christmas and New Year's. I know I get a lot of reading done right then. As always, if you make a comment or ask a question in the comment section below, you'll be entered to win one of Kathleen's books, One Cinderella Spring, and one of my books, 6 Kisses for Christmas, that I wrote with my 5 sisters. You're going to love both of those books. So I'm really excited to introduce to you Kathleen Lawless. Hello, Kathleen. Thank you so much for being here today.
Oh, it's a pleasure, Jen. Thank you for having me.
Well, so tell the readers a little bit about yourself.
I live in the Pacific Northwest. I have 3 lovely grown-up children and no grandchildren as of yet. And I've been writing forever. That's always all I ever wanted to do. And, inspired by some of my favorites like Joanna Lindsay and Kathleen Woodywise, I sat down one day and just started banging away on a borrowed typewriter.
Wow. Do you use the word processor now, don't you?
Yes, I do. Yes, happily. Best invention ever. I should have taken out shares in whiteout back in the day. I actually started writing before RWA was created. So wow. Yes, I've been at this for a long time. I taught for many years in a local college. And that was really fun. I enjoyed writing, inspiring other people, because when I started, I had no one. I had no one to inspire me, no one to ask questions. There was no internet, obviously. There was nothing. I was just all alone out there. So persistence paid off, and I sold my first book in the 90s to HarperCollins. And then I moved on to also Harlequin and Kensington and Simon & Schuster. So
wow. Were they all romances?
They were all romances, but I didn't want to get typecast. My first one was a Western historical. And I kind of recently thought that was my first love. And even though I did a lot of, contemporaries, and I still like doing contemporaries, dabbled a little bit with some suspense, romantic suspense, obviously. But I went back to my cowboys, and it's been really quite a ride.
That's so great. Well, so now are you almost exclusively self-published?
I am 100% self-published.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
And how are you finding that? Do you like?
Wow, what a change from the old days, I'll tell you.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's an incredible it's been a real learning curve.
Wow.
And I'm not a real social media person, so I've had to learn to be. And I don't ever see myself shooting videos and putting them on TikTok like some of my contemporaries, but good for them. I'm in love with the writing, and the other stuff is just necessary to get my work into the hands of my readers.
Get your books out there. That's right.
For sure.
Oh, wow. Well, that is really cool. So how many books have you written, or how many books have you got out?
There's the written, and then there's the published. I think I'm somewhere in the mid 40s right now, and that includes a couple box sets.
Amazing.
So yeah, I should hit 50 pretty soon.
Well, that is so impressive. Well, so tell the readers a little bit about this book that we're giving away today. It looks really fascinating. I love the cover. I think it's so cute.
Isn't it cute?
Yes.
I wanted to take an old-fashioned fairy tale like Cinderella and give it a modern-day contemporary twist. So that's what I did. My heroine works in a shoe store. Her name's Cindy. Actually, her real name is Cinderella because her mother was some hippie dippy. And she loses a very expensive shoe, and she has to find it because when her boss, the cheapskate, finds out, he's going to take it out of her doctor pay. And so anyways, in the midst of looking for the shoe, Prince Charming comes along and wants to help, and she's super independent. She rebuffs all his efforts to help her.
Well, that sounds darling.
It is cute. It's got lots of surprises for the reader along the way, like who actually finds the shoe and how far Prince Charming goes to try and help her. You know, he's a really nice guy. And I had a few reviewers say she was a little too prickly, but that was her character. You know, she grew up on some commune with some teenage mom, and she never knew her dad, and she was homeschooled, and she didn't want to wind up like her mom, fiercely independent, making her own way. And just because this guy is cute and hot and nice, she doesn't need him.
I love that. Well, I think, I remember reading something about Jane Austen when she wrote Emma, and she said, I don't think anyone but me will like this character.
Oh,
but I think that, it's really fun to write those kind of flawed, kind of difficult characters, because you love seeing their character arc, and you love making them lovable just for who they are, I think.
Yeah, I know. And I've had a lot of difficult characters over the years. Some of them just do not do what I want them to do. Really annoying. But I had it in my mind that I really wanted a scene where it was appropriate for Cindy to say bibbidi bobbidi boo, kind of crossly. She was kind of frustrated. And without sort of manipulating them to doing it, I was really happy when that line's my favorite quote from the book. It actually works.
I love it when it works out that way, don't you?
Yeah. Yes, it makes it fun.
Well, Kathleen, that sounds like such a fun book, and I am so excited to kind of delve into your backlist and just look at what all the stuff you've written. That's really neat.
Yes, thank you so much. I hope that I've got, quite a following in the historical romance, and I hope some of them will follow me over. This is the first contemporary full series I've done. I'm just working on book 4. They don't have to be read in order. It's set on a little island that looks pretty much like anything around here in the Pacific Northwest, a made-up island. And so it's a small town. It's a small town and an island romance. And this is book 3 of, no, this is book 1 of 4. So they're all seasons.
So are they
Cinderella spring, 1 stolen summer, 1 fantasy fall, and I'm working on 1 wondrous winter.
Oh, I love that. Are they all based on fairy tales?
No, just the first one. They all have fun tropes in them now. The tropes are important, and they're slightly connected in that the girls are all cousins on the island, but you don't have to read them in order. You don't have to read one. I do not believe in writing cliffhangers. I think that's just mean to the reader to do cliffhangers. I get really, some people don't object, but I get really, really annoyed when I read a book with a cliffhanger.
I do too. I mean, I know that sometimes you feel like you cannot fit the whole story into one book, but I agree. It's got to have a nice ending tied up so that I don't have to go and find the next book.
It's got to be satisfying. I remember some good advice I got not too long ago that was, remember who your audience is. You're writing for the reader, not necessarily writing for yourself. They have to feel satisfied at the end of that book.
Yeah, I love that. That is really good advice.
Super important. Super important.
Yes. Well, Kathleen, we have just a few more minutes, so I just have a couple of fun questions for you.
Okay.
What is your favorite or one of your favorite romantic movies?
Oh, that is a really hard question.
It is.
As I'm sure you know, that's why you asked it. It's interesting. Some movies that are touted as romance, they have a male writer and a male director, and they really don't get the romance right. So I would say the stuff that I really like when I look, it's usually written by a woman and or directed by a woman. They get the romance right.
Mm.
I'm thinking, and a lot of times the men want the woman to be dead. That's their idea of a happy ending.
The men want the women to what?
The director kills off the woman, or the writer kills off the heroine. Well, think of The English Patient. Think of Love Story. Think of oh, there was another one, Bridges of Madison County. Okay, didn't kill her, but they didn't get together. Those were all men's idea of romance. But I have to say, one I watch every year nonstop is Love Actually. That's a real favorite of mine.
I'm trying to think if I've ever seen that. I better watch it.
Oh, it's just got so many romances, and they all link together. It's really fun. It's a Christmas kind of, it's set in the Christmas season, so it's a good one. And there's been some strong love stories in some action adventure. I'm thinking of Witness is a favorite of mine, even though it didn't have a happy ending. That was a really strong romance. Last of the Mohicans had a really strong romance.
So let me tell you, and I've mentioned this on the book club before. One of the movies that I think is like wildly romantic is The Terminator.
That's my other one. That's all. I'm just looking at my notes. I thought that had such a powerful romantic element in it, even though it wasn't a romance. It was really well done.
Oh, yes. I agree. I think that's so romantic. So that's great.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
On the same page there.
And it's also nice when the hero's kind of rescuing the heroine, even though she doesn't really, she's capable on her own, but they were a great couple.
They were. Yes. Okay. So last question. You're stuck on a desert island. Would you rather have a lifetime supply of chocolate or toilet paper?
Oh, chocolate, because there's always leaves.
Okay. Yes, there are. All right. That question really tells me everything I need to know about someone, how they think.
Oh.
Well, Kathleen, thank you so much for being here. Readers, as always, if you make a comment or ask a question in the comment section below, you'll automatically be entered to win a copy of Kathleen Lawless's One Cinderella Spring, and also a copy of my book, 6 Kisses for Christmas, that I wrote with my 5 sisters. And so please give us a comment and ask a question. And Kathleen, thank you so much for being here.
That's my pleasure, Jen. Thanks so much for having me. Look
All
forward
righty.
to doing it again sometime.
Let's do it. Thank you.